In today's divided political landscape, it can be difficult to find common ground with those who have differing viewpoints. But our next guest writes about how one of the most famous figures in American history grew into the figure he's known today by working directly with those he disagreed with. Steve Inskeep is the author of Differ We Must, How Lincoln Succeeded in a Divided America. He's also, of course, the esteemed host of NPR's Morning Edition and Up First podcast. Steve, thank you so much for joining us.
Esteemed, thank you very much.
Esteemed,
it's very kind
of course.
Of you. Thank you.
Okay, so many people, when they talk about Abraham Lincoln, they really talk about the legacy-defining moments, how he was able to tackle the Civil War, Emancipation Proclamation. But you decided to really take a look at him as a man. Why decide to look at it in that perspective?
Well, I was looking at the little political moments that added up to those gigantic achievements. Obviously, it's not that Abraham Lincoln got along with everybody. He was a wartime president. He fought a civil war against people who disagreed with him that strongly about slavery. But in order to win that war, in order to have opposition to slavery in the United States, he needed to build a coalition of people who had widely divergent views on slavery, widely divergent views on many other things, or just personal differences, and he had to bridge those divides to build coalitions.
You talk about those personal divisions, those personal differences that he had. You talk about, in particular, 16 encounters he had with people with differing viewpoints. Why was it so important to look at it in that way?
I felt that if I was able to tell his life story through a series of meetings with people who differed with him, who generally disagreed with him, who came from different backgrounds, different races, different genders, that I would get a picture of America and also a picture of this political leader in action, in the same way that you would best understand an athlete and their art by watching them on the court or on the field. The way to understand Lincoln, I felt, was to see him in action face-to-face with individuals.
Talk to us about the interaction in particular between Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass.
Oh, goodness. This is one of my favorite meetings, and a famous one. Douglass supported Lincoln, but was also a critic of Lincoln, and went to Lincoln's office in the White House in 1863 to say, "Thanks for the Emancipation Proclamation. It's great that you are finally enlisting black men in the Union Army, which I had advocated long before you did. So great that you're doing that, but they're not receiving equal treatment. Why aren't they receiving equal pay? Why aren't they receiving promotions and equal benefits to white soldiers?" And Lincoln had to explain that. He said political reality forced him to move more slowly than he would have liked, and continued down the road after that meeting. Ultimately, black soldiers did get equal pay. But that confrontation, I thought, was very revealing about both of these very practical, pragmatic men. They disagreed on a lot, but understood that they needed to work together.
During his time, it feels like Lincoln, in many scenarios, was kind of in the minority. For example, his opposition of slavery. What do you think that said about him?
Oh, my goodness. I find him a fascinating character because he chose to be in the minority party in his state when he was coming up in politics in Illinois in the 1830s and 1840s. And he tried to assemble a coalition around this issue where you couldn't really get a majority point of view for anything. There were many different points of views about slavery, many of them trying to avoid the issue in different ways, and it was hard to get a majority that confronted the issue.
It feels like in today's political landscape, often you have the people who are on the left, we're only talking to the people on the left. We're not dealing with those crazy people on the right, or vice versa, right? Do you feel like that art has been lost today?
Yeah, and I will hear people, as I've talked about this book, I will hear people who say, why would I even try to talk to these crazy people on the other side? They are divorced from reality. They hate me. They don't even accept my humanity. These are things that people will say. And I have to accept that in many cases that may well be true. You're not going to get along with everybody. You're not going to get everybody to see your side. But that's not really the point. The point is, in a democracy, can you build enough people to form a majority for your side? And even if the people in that majority don't agree on everything, maybe even if it's only 1 out of 10 things that you agree on, can you get that one big thing done?
Steve Inskeep, we thank you so much. What a fascinating read. Want to let our viewers know, Differ We Must, How Lincoln Succeeded in a Divided America is now available wherever books are sold.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.